What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. So I did a video. Did the video on lefty gunplay, and I gotta admit, man, lefty's on fire. Excuse me. Like I said, people have been asking me for over a week to speak on the topic, and normally I wait. I let everybody do their thing and give it time to marinate, right? And I figured, enough time went by. Maybe I won't get the views that I would have had I done it right away, but it's not just that for me. I don't want to just fly off acting like I know. I still don't know, but I have an opinion based on what I've seen, right? But I got a comment. This comment is from the real John Diesel. You guys know he's a YouTuber. Here's the question that he asked. How do you feel about the new style in Los acting black like the Raza in the Bay Area? I know that right there. That question. Hold on. That question right there, John Diesel. John Diesel was in YA. You've been around Vatos from Los. But that is a hot topic right there. That got some people upset. But the reality is there are a lot of youngsters now who are acting hip hop. Acting black, you want to say, as you said it. I started to answer John Diesel in the comments, and there's way too much to say. Times have definitely changed. I started doing time with dudes from South Central, Compton, Watts, Inglewood, all these areas. I started doing time with these dudes well over 30 years ago. And I never saw any of them that carried themselves that way, that talked that way. But what I want to make clear is this. Every generation, I can only speak for Raza. Every generation speaks bad about the generation that comes after them. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not. I remember having conversations with homies that were a lot older than me in the Hoyo, Sally's. And, I'm about to be 50 years old. So I'm talking about vatos right now that are in their 70s. And they would tell me, oh man, homie, you vatos, vatos listen to that rap music, homes, this and that. And my response was, you listen to the same artist, just a different style of music. So because rappers, black dudes are rapping, we shouldn't fuck with it. But because Brenton Wood's singing and James Brown is singing, I'm saying, the moments, and like, because they sing, that makes a difference. Explain to me how that's different. And I would tell them, you listening to Smokey and James Brown and all them, and your father came from Mexico, what do you think your father and his homeboys thought about you? I said, the same thing that you're trying to put off on us. And so I would be hypocritical to sit here and righteously want to judge vatos that are 20 years younger than me, 30 years younger than me. Do I have an opinion? I do. My opinion is, I wish that both communities truly understood the greatness that they descend from. I saw something on, I think it was Joe Rogan the other day, right? And it was I think it was Joe Rogan. And they were asking, why were the pyramids built? Or no, how were the pyramids built? We're talking pyramids in Egypt as well as over here in the Americas, right? How were they built? And this dude said, I can't explain it. How exact it was. He said for them to build it as exact as they did is one thing, but to have it within a degree or two of north on a compass, he said, why would somebody want to add that difficulty to it? With modern technology and how brilliant people are now, they cannot do what the black community's ancestors did in Egypt and what our ancestors did here in the Americas. They can't do it. They won't even try. The amount, the tonnage of stone, you know, the ingenuity, the mathematics. Those are the only two places where those things were created. Those were the only two civilizations that had the mental capability to do that. I wish that both communities understood the impact that our ancestors have made on the earth. And then I think that both groups would want to take pride in their own culture. But I don't want to be that bitter dinosaur. These youngsters nowadays. I've said in other videos, California had their own estilo. Southern California especially had their own estilo. Shit, there was even, I met black dudes that in the joint that said they didn't even like the dudes from like the Central Valley up north, like Merced and all that, because they were like, them dudes, they act like they're from down south. They dress like they're from down south. They talk like they're from down south because they talk different than the dudes from the Bay Area. But California, we had our own estilo. We could show up anywhere and they would know just by the way we're dressed. Damn, this dude ain't from here. He must be from California. The whole tattoo thing came from the Raza in California. I remember meeting a white dude in the 90s and he came from the feds. And he said that whole sleeve thing, that's a California thing. We all knew in the feds when somebody would come, ink slung back everywhere. Oh, he came from California. No disrespect to anyone else, but I swear when I see these youngsters nowadays and I see the Edgar cuts and I see the way they dress and I hear the way they talk, it reminds me of like when I would see movies in the 80s of the Puerto Ricans over there in New York, the Puerto Ricans on the East Coast. That was their estilo. How is California? You know, we like to think we are the inventors. We're the trendsetters. We are that. You know, as California dudes have that arrogance. And we're looking like dudes looked on the East Coast 20 years ago. I was late on that because I was blown away by it. So again, how do you feel about the new style in Los acting black like the Raza in the Bay? That was John Diesel's question. And that was my answer. I gave you my answer. My answer isn't what there's a lot of people that would like me to be like, man, fuck that, this and that. But like I said, I had those debates with vatos that were 20 years my elder, people that I respected in the joint. And I had to stand up for my generation. I don't want to be that dude that was my Sally, all bitter. Because you know what? The vatos that are 30 years younger than me right now, 20 years younger than me right now, they're going to have shit to say about the generation that comes after them. Do I like it? I don't. because I know everybody should embrace their own culture. Be respectful of all cultures. Be open to all cultures. Leave your mind open, right? But, we all know when someone is acting black or someone is acting white. Remember the Dave Chappelle show when he was a news anchor. Dave's black, but he was the white guy. He used the white voice, and you know what I'm saying? So whenever anybody says, what does that mean, act white or act black? It means exactly that. Like, white people talk a certain way. Black people talk a certain way. Mexicans talk a certain way. I don't understand using another culture's vernacular. But I will say this. These youngsters that have embraced this whole hip hop thing, the crime rate is way more down than it was. If I'm gonna keep it real, if these young Mexicanos, the young Raza, and I want to correct myself because it's not just Mexicanos, the Raza in California, if they were going to continue to follow in the footsteps of my generation and the generation before them, they'd be banging hard right now. Tag back, banging hard as fuck. But instead, these guys want to be rappers. So is there pros and cons to it? Apparently there is. If a guy is gonna not want to be a killer, I can't knock him at all. But there's the whole, like, listen, man. I was a fucking idiot the majority of my life. I didn't care about killing people. I didn't care about dying. I didn't care about hurting people, robbing, like, whatever. And I'm glad that that's not the way that these dudes act now. And even when I was that idiot, even when I was that fucking wild, I did not want to get a tattoo on my face. Yeah, I got the 3 dots right there. That was on some gangbanging shit and why the north-south thing. I didn't want any dude from Northern California to ask me where I was from. When we made eye contact, he would see the 3 dots and he would know, okay, this dude's from Southern California. We'd get off. That's what that was for. But as far as putting a name on my face, tattooing my face, never even a thought. I don't ever remember back then anyone ever saying, hey, fool, I'm going to fucking blast my face. I do know when there were homies that wanted to put a name on their face, the older homies would talk them out of it. That's the people I grew up under. I don't have a son. If I did, and my son got a tattoo on his face, I would be very disappointed. We all go through phases. People know who you are at 13 is not who you are at 21. Who you are at 21 is not who you're going to be at 40. Them tattoos are permanent. If you get a fucking tattoo when you're 13 on your damn face, I hope you make a lot of money. And I'm not knocking anyone who has them. I can't do that. It's not for me to judge anyone else. But I'm just talking, I'm rambling about the differences and the different eras and I don't know, but like I said, man, for me to say I wish things were like the old days, no, our barrios would be places of despair like they used to be. A lot of youngsters would lose their lives, never become fathers. It seems like now they have a better opportunity to be successful, to have a life. Man, I remember back then, Holmes, in the 80s, 90s, it was like Vatos really didn't expect to be 19, 20 years old. Nowadays, I think these dudes, this hip-hop generation, they expect to be 30 years old, 40 years old. So I don't know if I answered the question to anybody else, to fit what anybody else wanted, but I can only speak the way I speak and speak about the way I feel. These Edgar haircuts are going to go away. And let me tell you guys right now, hold up. Listen up. Every one of you motherfuckers right now that has an Edgar haircut, in 10 years, you're going to laugh at your own fucking pictures. I guarantee you, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, fuck, fool. And your homeboys will be like, damn, fool, look at this shit. And you're going to be like, fool, look at yours. I'm telling you, homie. I don't understand how anybody gets that haircut and looks in the mirror like, damn, it's just fly. I don't, but listen. I'm rocking a bald head and can't grow as much hair as you, so what the fuck do I know? But check me out. Look, I showed this the other day. Look it, I'm old, I'm bald, but look, I'm right here. You know what I'm saying? So that's my video for today. I don't know, maybe I'll let it out today on the small channel. Or I do it tomorrow. I don't know. But I have one in the chamber now. And you know, like I said, when John Diesel posed this question to me, I started in the comment section, but there was so much I wanted to say about it that I said, you know, maybe this will be a video, a good topic. We'll see. We'll see what you guys think. Anyways, with that said, everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out.